creating the billionaire version of you. The point is that we must have more conscious entrepreneurs who are thriving on this planet, more conscious entrepreneurs who are able to have a flow of abundance that they can direct in whatever way they wish to have a greater impact. You're a spiritual entrepreneur. This is about the impact that you get to have. It's about the legacy that you get to leave. It's about the problems that you help others to solve. You must have a vision, and that vision must have a why. Hello and welcome to another training for the Online Spiritual Entrepreneurs Group. My name is Marguerita, and I am focusing today on creating the billionaire version of you. So why would you even want to focus on creating the billionaire version of you? Well, regardless of whether you want to actually have billions of dollars in the bank or not, there is a very powerful reason you want to expand your container to entertain the possibility of creating a $1 billion impact, a $1 billion lifestyle, billions of dollars in the bank. So I want you to just suspend disbelief for the next 20 to 30 minutes. I won't keep you too long. And I will take you through step by step. Firstly, the reasons that you want to create a billionaire mindset. And as an online spiritual entrepreneur, why it's not just important for you, but it's important for the people around you and potentially for the rest of humanity. And what are the steps that you need to take to create that billionaire version of you? So if you're coming in live, then it would be really, really awesome if you were to say hello. I'm just going to check that we are actually live on the Facebook page. So it'd be awesome if you were to say hi, let me know where you're coming in from, and what is your vision for creating the billionaire version of you. And it's so important that you have absolute clarity around that. And we'll get into that in just a minute. And I will share with you more around all of that information to help you to really step into the best version of you, because you are infinitely powerful, right? You are infinitely powerful. There is nothing that you cannot achieve when you put your mind to it. And if you have resistance around, oh, I want to be a billionaire. Okay, so I get that not everybody wants to be a billionaire. However, if you suspend disbelief and just think about, what if I could be a billionaire? What are the stories, belief systems, judgments, perceptions you have that cause you to say, I don't want to be a billionaire? Because if somebody walked up to you today and said, here's $1 billion, would you go, no, I don't want $1 billion, thanks very much? I doubt that very much, unless you had serious fear around having that much money, unless you felt that your safety was going to be seriously impacted by somebody handing you that money. But you talk to somebody, and I talk to people about holding the container for being able to create $1 billion impact, $1 billion business, $1 billion in the bank. And they're like, oh, no, it's all too hard. They've got judgments and perceptions around it's not safe. They're going to lose friends, family. Maybe they're going to be judged and criticized. There's all this BS in their belief systems, in their brains, their subconscious, around it's not safe, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve it. So they just go, I don't want to be that. Because of their belief systems and their judgments, they just create a safety net that says, oh, but I don't want to be a billionaire. Again, I'm not saying that everybody's going to want to create $1 billion business. However, when you have a container that is able to hold the possibility for $1 billion business, $1 billion impact, all of a sudden millions of dollars is really a piece of cake. your attitude changes. The way you see the world changes. You see opportunities and possibilities where before you only saw struggle and challenge. It completely shifts your mindset. These are t-shirts that I've had made up for my my Billionaire You clients, the ones who I am taking through my signature program to get them to develop the billionaire mindset. And they're saying that simply wearing these t-shirts actually changes their attitude, their focus, their mindset, their vibration and frequency. This is the point. It's not so in 10 years' time you can necessarily have $1 billion in the bank. The point is that we must have more conscious entrepreneurs who are thriving on this planet. More conscious entrepreneurs who are able to have a flow of abundance that they can direct in whatever way they wish to have a greater impact. I had a session with a lovely gentleman last night, and he engaged with me to do EFT with him on something completely different. But we ended up talking about his projects that he's working on, the impact that he wants to have. And I mentioned to him about being an affiliate for different products and services to be able to increase his income. And he had so much resistance to that. And there's a lot of resistance for a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs. There's a lot of resistance to sales. Oh, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to sell people anything. Well, what if you reframe it and sales is service? What if you don't sell somebody something that you know can make an impact in your lives, you're actually doing a disservice by not selling them your product or service, or not being an affiliate for a product or service that you know can be directly impactful for people? That by not increasing your income through some form of sales, because everything is selling, I hate to break it to you, but everything is selling. If you want to have $100,000 coming in, if you want to have $500,000 coming in, if you want to have $100 million coming in, if you want to have $1 billion coming in, you've got to be prepared to sell. But reframe it. See selling as service. You're not selling stuff that you don't believe in. You're not selling stuff that hurts somebody. You're not selling stuff that isn't having a positive impact. You're selling something that you believe will help the other person, who is simply making an exchange of money for a solution. That's all selling is. It is service, because you are exchanging a solution for money. That's it. That's all selling is. We've got all caught up in our heads about, selling and sales, and it's awful and it's icky and I don't want to sell anybody and they'll think I'm taking advantage of them and they think I just want to make money out of them. No, you're making a conscious exchange. They're getting what they need. You're getting something in return. It's just an exchange. So if you have hang-ups around that, then do some EFT around it. What are your judgments and criticisms around selling? How can you shift and reframe that to being of service? And the more conscious spiritual entrepreneurs we have who are having this money flow, and as I was saying to this man that I was speaking to last night, his judgments and perceptions around affiliate marketing were stopping this flow of abundance. And this man who is supporting these not-for-profit organizations, and his intention is to help make them fully sustainable through his efforts and through his building the wealth that he is building, by stopping one opportunity that could be very lucrative. He's not only hurting himself, he's actually hurting the outcome for these people out here who he supports. So do you see, if through our judgments and perceptions and criticisms of one thing that probably aren't actually all that valid, they're not valid. These judgments and criticisms and hang-ups that we have about selling and service and being an affiliate and making money from making sales is not valid at all, particularly if you have a consciousness that just wants to help others. Then that flow of money that you bring in, imagine how much good you can do with $1 billion. You could, couldn't you? You could help to solve so many problems and support so many not-for-profits and help your family and help friends and build a better mousetrap, help to elevate consciousness, plus create a beautiful lifestyle for yourself and show others how, by having lots of money, you can then have a positive impact in multiple ways. It's not just about you. You've got to stop this hang up that, oh, but the making money part's all about me. No, it ain't. You're a spiritual entrepreneur. This is about the impact that you get to have. It's about the legacy that you get to leave. It's about the problems that you help others to solve. It's about the poor animals that are not going to suffer anymore because you're funneling more money their way. Now, if you want the private jets and the mansions and all the rest of it, that's fine too. We get to have it all when we remove those limitations. So that's the reason why. That's the why. Now, how do you create a $1 billion impact? You've got to be willing to lean into the process. Creating the $1 billion mindset or the billionaire mindset is all about the journey, being willing to take the journey. Now, the ideas and solutions that you're coming up with and you're working with right now may or may not end up being your $1 billion formula. You must have some sort of formula to work with. Now, the first part of it is the vision. You must have a vision, and that vision must have a why. So what is your vision? What is your goal? What impact do you want to have? What legacy do you want to leave? What difference do you want to make? Lock onto that vision and never, ever, ever let that vision go. It can expand as much as it likes, but hold into that vision and never, ever, ever let it go. You are not going to know how you're going to get from there to there. Solutions will come into your world that you are ready for right now that will be a part of your journey, but there may or may not be the whole journey. You've got to build the foundations, remember. You cannot build a massive $1 billion empire on rocky foundations. So what are the foundations? The foundations are your mindset, which is always a work in progress. It's your vision. It's the characteristics and traits that you embody. Are you willing to be tenacious and committed and relentless and resilient and focused, hyper-focused? Are you willing to build those characteristics and traits? Are you willing to see the weaknesses that you have that you need to build? So for instance, I want you to think of a highly successful, financially successful person who you admire. What characteristics and traits do they embody? I can just about guarantee that they're bold, they're courageous, they're relentless, they're resilient, they're hyper-focused, they're committed. They have a strength of character and a confidence and conviction about what they do and where they're heading. So think of somebody you admire who may not be where you aspire to be, but they are on the journey and they are making progress and they are creating the impact that you want to have. It might be a different kind of impact, but they're impacting the world in a positive way. Really think about what are the traits and characteristics that you admire so much in that person and that you know are an essential part of you embodying those characteristics yourself to become the billionaire that you have in your vision and have that billionaire impact. And if you shoot for a billionaire and you just happen to become a multi-millionaire, that ain't half bad, is it? Exactly. So you must have your vision and your why. You must have a rock solid attitude and focus. You must work relentlessly on your mindset every day. Every single day needs to be working on your mindset, being solution focused, having that attitude of no matter what, can do whatever it takes. And then it's being authentically you. If you want to step into that billionaire version of you, you've got to be prepared to strip back the BS and show up every single day as the most authentic version of you possibly can in this moment, right here, right now. There is no room for inauthenticity in today's world. None. People's BS meters are really, really high. And if you are being inauthentic in any way, people are going to detect that. And you cannot create a solid foundation for a billionaire kind of impact and business if you're not being authentic. And you can't sustain it anyway. Even if you could get a certain way down the track, initially you won't be able to sustain it. Know thyself. This is super critical. Know thyself. Know what you stand for. Know what your vision and your why is. Know what your superpowers are, your core genius, your gifts and talents, the things that you play at that other people have to work at. Know what you stand for, what you stand against, what you're passionate about. Get to know your mission, and you may not know your mission right now, but be willing to discover that mission. So knowing yourself is essential and critical to this entire formula and equation. Know your strengths and weaknesses, and being willing to not necessarily strengthen your weaknesses, but mitigate for those. So you've got to delegate to elevate in a business. I love that saying. Got it from Jesse Ecker, and I think he got it from his dad, T. Harv Eker. But you're not going to be able to do this all on your own. And in the beginning, you're probably going to need to do it. If you're at the beginning stages, you're probably going to be doing a lot on your own until you reach those higher levels of income, till you can start bringing people into your business. Then you need to start delegating the things that you're not all that good at, the things that don't necessarily light you up. So your core genius, your superpowers are the things that absolutely light you up, the things that you love to do. They're the things, they're the money things that you need to be focused on. The money activities, because that's your gift to the world. They are your core genius, and they are where you are going to get the biggest bang for your buck in the long term. So being willing to outsource various things to other people so you can get to play in your core genius when you're ready for that, when you're at that stage. And this formula is made up of systems and strategies, marketing strategies, business systems, and there's obviously a whole range of things that are going to come together to create the specific formula. Now, depending on where you're at, you're not going to have the systems and strategies in place to be able to sustain $1 billion business right now. If you've got a 6-figure business right now, there's no way you have the systems in place or the knowledge to be able to sustain or build $1 billion business or even a multi-million-dollar business. You've got to be willing to learn all that along the way. You've got to just be willing to take the journey and lean in and follow the inspiration that you get from source and spirit, and be guided by source and spirit. Because the source and spirit, the universe, has all the answers, all of them. It knows the path you need to take. It knows the different information that you need. It knows the people who can support you to get there. And it's going to put them in front of you when the time is right. And that is super important, that you recognize that and you are willing to invest in yourself, in courses, in workshops, in seminars, in mindset stuff, in coaching, in personal development, whatever that looks like, in developing new skill sets. Those investments will bring you so much return on your investment, and they are absolutely essential and critical to you succeeding on that level, on any level, to be perfectly honest. To go to the next level, you've got to have support. You've got to have people in your team who are going to be able to guide you and support you and inspire you to be able to get you from where you are to where you want to be, to help you to grow into the billionaire version of you. So, for a start, what I want you to really do is sit down and think about what it's like to be the billionaire version of you. What does that even look like? Do you have any idea what that might look like? Write it down. Take a good 20 minutes to think about the billionaire version of you. How are you showing up? What kind of things are you doing? How are you doing things differently to the way you're doing them right now? How do you feel differently to the way you feel right now? Do you know that can change like that? When you decide, you must decide and be totally committed. Once you make that decision, you need to be committed to stepping up every single day, to showing up as the best possible version of you, to growing into that billionaire version of you. So your mindset changes, the way you see the world changes, the way you make decisions change, your confidence, you grow in your confidence, you do that personal development work, you develop that can do no matter what kind of attitude. It becomes a complete, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Non-negotiable. The things that you need to do, the things that you need to invest in, they become non-negotiable. You become resourceful and you go, all right, I know I need to do this course, or I know I need to engage this person, or I know I need to pay for this person to come in and do this in my business. So I'm going to get resourceful. Even though I might think that at the moment I don't have those resources, I know that I have access to them somewhere, somehow, and I know the universe can show me how if I'm just willing to lean in. Just lean in. Just ask the universe, how can this be possible? And be willing to lean in and get out of my comfort zone. So these are the absolute things that you need to put in place to be able to have that either millionaire or billionaire impact and lifestyle and income. The sky's the limit. There is no limit to what you can create, except the limits that you put on yourself. So what if you were to just go for a billionaire? And if you happen to hit multiple millions of dollars along the way, everybody's winning. And of course, you've got to hit multiple millions to get to the billions. And you're not going to know how it's going to unfold, as I said. But if you hold that vision and never, ever give up on that vision, you will eventually grow to become the person you need to be. The opportunities will show up and guide you along the way, and a lot of them will just be stepping stones to the thing. I've had for several years now, I've had this thing in my head that I wanted to impact 1 billion people. It's like, that's so huge. How the hell? How dare I be arrogant and audacious enough to want to impact 1 billion people, right? Who am I? All this itty bitty shitty committee stuff going up there on up here. Who am I to impact 1 billion people? And how the hell could that even be possible? And I'm now a part of a conscious collaboration with a couple of friends of mine, and we're just starting. And we're starting so tiny. But we decided yesterday that we're going to impact 1 billion people. And it might take us 3 years. It might take us 5 years. It might take us 10 years. It might take us 20 years. But we are holding space as a conscious collective to ultimately impact 1 billion people. Now, that might be directly or indirectly, because the people through our conscious efforts and through what we're building, we could potentially inspire other people who then impact tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of others. So, and we could be the beginning of that. And my coaches and mentors who have also inspired me and helped me to grow, many of them along the way who I've invested in, they have had a direct impact in me growing and becoming the person I am, and being even willing to entertain the possibility, suspending all disbelief and entertain the possibility that I might be able to impact 1 billion people, which seemed ridiculously audacious and arrogant. And, but hey, I now can see the vehicle. The vehicle has come to me, and it's come to me in the most weird and roundabout way. I can see the things that happened years ago that seemed so random and like totally irrelevant to anything. And yet the people I am now connected to, Spirit had it all planned the whole time. Spirit knew exactly my destiny and where I needed to be and what I needed to do and who I needed to meet and the mentors I needed to have. It's orchestrated the whole thing. And it's so magical to look back on it and go, oh my God, all those things that I did, all those people that I met, are all a part of it. So lean in to the process. Think about the different elements and things that I've mentioned to you today, because they are the foundation. I can't give you your specific billionaire formula because it's unique for everybody. But those things that I gave you are the foundation, and they are what I work through with my Billionaire You clients in my 12-month program. So if you are interested in joining the 12-month program, then please reach out to me, because it is a very powerful, intense program where I help you to unpack what is holding you back and help you to rewire your brain to be able to grow this container, to entertain the possibility that you could be a billionaire and support your growth over the next 12 months. The reason it's 12 months is because I've done programs that are 6 weeks, 3 months, and I've noticed that people kind of get a start in that time, but it's not enough. Particularly when you've got big visions and big things that you want to create. 12 months will actually solidify what you learn, the mindset that you develop, and really help you to build a solid foundation for creating that billionaire lifestyle, that billionaire impact, or even multiple millions of dollars. So I look forward to seeing you again next week with more training. And if you would like to reach out to me to ask me how I can help you to get from where you are to where you want to be, wherever that might be, whatever your vision is, but at least take action on the steps that I gave you today, because they are game changers. They are serious game changers. And let me know what your biggest takeaway is from today. I would love to hear from you. And I will see you again next week. Until then, bye for now.